So in the outside reaping foot sweep, if we're not striking, in essence, if we're doing judo, we have to use the hand, the gripping, in order to break the balance before we can reap the leg. If I just pick his leg off the ground, he doesn't necessarily fall. He just shifts his weight onto the other leg. So I need to do all this big work with the upper body to load him prior to releasing the foot sweep to sweep, right? Prior to releasing the throw. So now, in the art of karate, we're allowed to hit people in karate. So we're gonna take a look at what we call Kihon number 1, where the bad guy is a karate bad guy versus a good guy who's a karate good guy, and we're gonna use primarily techniques that come out of the art of karate, and we're gonna follow our recipe. First ingredient of self-defense is move, block, don't get hit. For Kihon number 1, he punches to the face, right hand, right foot forward. In response, move, backward step, block, don't get hit. Let's go back again. Now, we want to practice backwards moving. So I start really close. There's no way that I'm going to head forwards upon his attack. As he punches, I'm going to move backwards to get away. I've got one choice. It forces me to go backwards. Let's say I start far away. Would you do the punch? Would you do the punch out in the air? So now, if the bad guy punches like this, I got to go like this. Now I'm going forwards. This is bad practice, and people end up doing this all the time because they start this far apart. We start like this close. I'm not going forward for nothing. He attacks, move, block, don't get hit. Now, closest weapon, closest target. I'm just going to reverse punch, dead in the solar plex, right down the pipe. Blocking arm is going to grab the limb. This is our first beat. Go ahead again. Is here to here. So in karate basics, forms, we've got something that we call hikite, which is the hand that's out comes back to the hip. Hand that's out returns back to the hip. The pulling back to the hip is called hikite, and it has a purpose. The purpose is to pull on the opponent's arm to create off-balancing, or to maintain control, or to create head-on collisions, pull us towards each other. So since the Arvind attacks Kihon number 1, and I block, the grab, a punch out of the air is not realistic, but having a limb connection is part of all fighting that involves takedowns. Try taking somebody down without a limb connection is very challenging. So now, either here, hikite, or the next move, more power, hikite, pull. So at the elbow strike, this needs to be at the hip. It can go there in one of two places. It can go there on the first beat, here, and then elbow, or it can stay up, here, pull here, either way. Now, this is more power. Now we practice doing the reaping foot sweep prior without striking, but look, the elbow will create the off balance. The elbow strike gets my stepping leg on the back side of his leg. So I've combined a lot of ideas right here on this one movement. So now the elbow arm reaches across the center. The reaping leg is primed and ready. It can only go one way, and then reap out the leg. Let's put it together. Attack comes in, block, strike, elbow. We're set up to do the reaping sweep in the sweet spot. We're practicing and drilling it with perfection, so what feels right is right, what feels wrong is wrong. So in the heat of battle, if it doesn't feel the same, if we're sparring or doing battle and we're in this relationship and I've got him, but I'm here, this does not feel right. It's not right. And my mind does not tell me to do that motor pattern because it doesn't feel right. I never practice it that way. We're doing battle and all of a sudden we're here, bang, I'm like, yeah, this feels pretty good. This feels right. And my body just releases that instinctively based on the reps that are done perfectly. 10. So somewhere 10, 11, 12 years old, somewhere in this time frame, me and my friends who we started together, we would hang out at my house just about every day after school, and we got this brilliant idea that we would break boards in my backyard. And my dad had this wood pile with, scrap pieces of wood. And so we got out a piece of plywood. We're like, oh yeah, will break the plywood. We didn't know about plywood, but we set it up on the edge of the retaining wall, the ground, the retaining wall, and it's just angled there, wedged in there. And we were taking turns trying to break it with everything we have, and anything wasn't breaking. So we started just doing like flying sidekicks, running, jumping, boom! We couldn't break this piece of plywood. Well, part of it's because it's plywood, right? Part of it is we had zero mass. You know, we weighed 45 pounds or whatever. And 45 pounds on a piece of plywood just doesn't make much of an imprint. Mass, body weight transfer is where you generate power, right? So then you watch people break bricks. They usually don't break bricks over their head. Boom, break the brick. They can't get any body weight. They put bricks on top of a stand underneath their body weight, and then they take their body weight and they lift it and they drop the body weight and whatever tool they're using, then they go through it. It's not the strike so much as it is the strike is transferring the mass and into the target, right? All right. So we're doing Kihon number 1, and we got up to the takedown. That's where we left off. So since they are about the tax, block, strike, elbow. Balance is broken. I got my foot in the correct position. Reap out the leg. Bang. He's in this position. I anchor in a horse stance. Here comes the load and the body weight lift. Then the body weight drops. Boom, and the punch. So this punch isn't just a little arm punch. This punch is going to be buried, right? This is a devastating blow because we're in that alignment in which boards, bricks can be broken. We're in the same position to really drop body weight. Does that make sense? After this strike, then take your trailing leg, the southern leg, drop it down on the knee, load the back knuckle strike. Fingers on back knuckle strikes are pointed outwards, and then there's a wrist turn, snap it on the belt knot. This is our groin back knuckle strike, our final movement, okay? A lot of people do the punch on their knee. Now it's arm punch. If my body weight is already planted on my knee and then I punch, I did a little arm punch now. It's a different punch. So punch from a horse stance. All right, the whole thing from start to end. Go ahead. We're here to here. So again, traditional attack. Bad guy's got right foot forward. We're going all the way through from the beginning to the end. He attacks, block, closest weapon, closest target, more power. Break balance. I got my stance in a sweet spot. I reap out the leg. Bang. Now, the stance allows body weight to drop, drive through, drop on the knee at the end, back knuckle strike to the groin, and we've completed Kihon number 1. So now let's do it backwards. We call this non-traditional. Instead of the bad guy being a right-hand dominant person, bad guy's left-hand dominant person. The script is exactly the same, however, it's done in reverse. So when they punch left, I step back, block right. Then grab the limb, hikite. Or strike, adjust to the outside position, pull in hikite on the elbow. Same thing. Break balance, lean forward. My stepping leg is deep. I bring my leg through. My hip is deep, nice and tight. Reap out the leg, lift the arm. Let's turn this way. Horse stance, load, drop the body weight. Then plant the leg and back knuckle strike from this position. Thank you. When we do non-traditional, it tends to highlight the actual reasons why we do what we do instead of trying to remember block, left, punch, right, do this in this order. You start to have to leave that to figure out this puzzle. Why are we doing it this way?